There. Welcome to Rusty's No Man's Sky Connection. I am Rusty. We're going to do, well, 3, maybe 4 bits today. First off, we're going to start with a brand new save. We're just going to run through the save to the point where we've got a functioning starship, the Radiant Pillar. I'm doing this because there are likely to be several new people out here watching or considering playing No Man's Sky because it's now available on the Macintosh. And, you know, it'd be nice if you had the opportunity to know what it is that's going on in the game and maybe be able to get started, because I know when I played, I had seen a couple of videos of people playing an earlier release with some starts, and I had decided, you know, I'm going to do my own thing here. I'm going to explore, and you end up occasionally in doing that, dying. And I decided I would make it possible for others to see some of what's going on without having a significant issue. Okay, this is a toxic world. What I see down the lower left is the temperature is about 20 degrees Celsius, which would be nice at this point. I'm getting overheated here. Actually, with the fan drawing air through, I suspect we're back under 20 degrees Celsius here. Radiation is under 1, but toxicity is over 55. So, yeah, we've got quite a bit going on. Now, I am not going to tell you what others are going to do. I am going to do kind of my own thing. I know that I need ferrite dust and carbon, but my own preference, if I can do it, is to find a cave. It looks like I might have one nearby. Also picking up some other resources that I'll be using along the way. Wet multi-tool overheats, mining beam. As you get modules to improve your mining beam, that becomes less of a problem, but it is a bit of an issue right now for this save. This looks like there might be a cave over here. Nope, no cave here. It's more carbon. And you have to be a certain distance away. These green cargo containers, or foot blockers, looks like, are sometimes handy. I like to collect the rust out of them at least. So what's in them may or may not be useful. There's some sodium nitrate. Have to watch out for these rocks. Some of this size rocks tend to actually not be rocks, but that becomes more of an issue once you can start scanning them. All right. Another spot that might be a cave over here. That looks like cave-ish. There we go. I'm actually here for the cobalt, but being underground allows my hazard protection to recover. We recharge multi-tools, preferably with condensed carbon, but sometimes that's not available. All right, so this is going to want some of that ferrite dust. I'm immediately going to install analysis visor. That needs a carbon nanotube, so we should have enough carbon to make a carbon nanotube. We do. So we make that. The other thing I'm going to do is I've now got some cobalt and a bit of ferrite dust. That allows me to make these ion batteries. And they allow me to recharge my hazard protection easily. And now that I've got a scanner, we're going to be looking around, scan a few things. We get some money for stuff we scan. Go. On the other hand, we are kind of wandering away from our starship, which is over there. So we get 4 out of 7 life forms. So the red dots are life forms. And once we get all of them, we upload them for 5 nanites each. Where we upload them for 5 nanites each, we also can get or by uploading all of them, we can collect 250 nanites for the set, or for the entire collection. But you see, just by getting underground at that one point, we ended up, that should be 6 or 7, yep. We ended up recovering our life support, or well, our hazard protection to the point where we're not under a lot of stress right now. There will be some later on, but we're in good shape now. Okay, we've got a structure over there. Let's give you. We do need some more of this, I believe. Might be enough already, but can't get to the large blue one, any of the yellows, or the large red ones until we've got the advanced mining beam. we got a lot of sodium here. So let's collect it after scanning for it. 2 of the or 3 of these plants often is all you need for a full recharge of your life support. This is not necessarily the case in all the variety of saves you can play. If you want to play the more intense versions, generally they end up requiring more resources. And we've got a grave as well. All right. My suspicion is that our remaining life form is underground. It might be a flying diurnal. But the game does like to give us an underground creature on our starting planet. But like I say, it varies. You have 4 varieties of starting planets that you can end up on. This is a poisonous planet. Okay, we've done our scans, so now when we get to 100%, even though we don't actually use the method, we complete. And there's our starship. There's a distress beacon for it. Oh, we're picking up ionized cobalt as well as cobalt. That's kind of nice. Now, since we've got all but one of the life forms, we can come in here, take a look at this, and we can see that, yes, we've got a rare underground, always active life form. Now, when I first played No Man's Sky, to me, underground was a lot scarier. Not as scary as underwater was, but I've learned a number of things about it, and the fact that we came into the game at night or late afternoon is not hurting things for us. Okay, we get to hydrogen with this one. These plants provide oxygen and sodium as well, so if you find you need a bunch of oxygen for something and you don't have any of the methods of either buying or harvesting oxygen yet, there's a number of them. Most planets have caves, and most caves have this hazardous flora that will provide oxygen and sodium, so you can restock. They tend to activate when you look at them and become a hazard at that point. Or when you shoot at them. since these are kind of on my way back to my starship, I figured I might as well collect them. They are, however, one of the things that you don't get any points for harvesting. All right. My own preference is if there is a cave or a graveside to visit, like there is right there, that if we can get to it, I'd very much like to. All right. Do I have? No, I don't have enough. I need some rocks. I need ferrite dust. There's a couple of rocks. Now we are at the point where, yes, the rocks can turn into, or one of the rocks can turn into a life form, sort of a spidery type thing that usually will run off, but I've run into one in permadeath and ended up dying because I had run into it. Okay, and we've got enough of one of these. Okay, good, we've got one of those over there. Let's go pick that up first. I'm of mixed emotions on finding these near the starship. There's going to be one because it's part of the setup, but finding another one is kind of a mixed blessing. Sometimes they have useful stuff, and sometimes they don't. Now, because of how it's oriented, there is a buried technology over there, but it's too far down. I can't get to it. Not with even any of my tricks. And you get a status of your multi-tool up in the upper right. It says I'm at 6 on, or 5 on my power level, and I'm going to have to recharge it shortly. I also need to scan that. Alright. We'll leave that one. Get some more oxygen to pick up here. First thing we're going to do is put down one of these and give it some kind of carbon and some rusted metal. Now let's put, oh, that wants some kind of carbon too. Now let's see what we can fix up here already. So pure the hydrogen jelly and metal plating we could do. We're working on the pure ferrite. That's what I'm crunching the rust up for. It's going to turn into ferrite dust, and then I'll be able to make pure ferrite out of that. Do a broadcast. You could leave if you want to. I think you need to do the broadcast for it to continue the process there. I just say think because I don't recall having ignored, having left it in the past. So if you want to try that out as a technique, I'm not going to tell you not to. All right. Now, this one can be gotten. There we go. All right. Back here, put the ferrite dust that we made into the input. Let it rub for 21 seconds. Meanwhile, we'll hop on board. Nope. Try to hop on board. All right. Here we go. Iteration, etc. Revolve online. Atlas connection is intermittent. Launch thrusters are offline. Pulse engine is offline. I must have learned on a strange world, unequipped and endangered. I have no memory of how I got here. No sense of the world. But this ship at least seems to recognize me. The controls react like touch, or at least to that of my access suit. I'm not dead yet, and this ship is a lifeline out to the stars. Read log. Log 4925 Alpha unavailable, substituting data, access suit, connected, suggestion. Pilot should perform maintenance. Select the desired repair path. Repair shadow strip. Well, because there was no other alternative. Okay, tells me what needs to be fixed. Pick this up. Back goes into the starship. Left that, because we'll be able to use it again. That's fixed now. I'm going to rearrange these. That goes there, this goes here. This gets one of these because we can make that. All right, hop back on board. And iteration, what we're called, functional. Starship critically damaged, vital ingredients are missing. Unable to synthesize required components. Pulse engine requires a hermetic seal. Let's get some help. Recommendation, iteration, comparison reveals hermetic seal nearby. Salvage planetary chart from distress beacon cache. Alright, so if you're wondering, that's what this thing needs. We've already given it the metal plate, but it's not showing up at this level, so. Alright. We wait for the red icon to show up and we collect. I peer inside the beacon's housing as well as the distress broadcast unit contains a planetary chart. Take the chart. All right. Now, this is a one-off. We don't get another planetary chart every time. All right. So it's going to have us go that direction. How does that compare with the grave site? Yeah, it's in line with the grave site. Closer though. All right. Now, one of the things I think we might have gotten, I don't see it though, is I need to make a couple of these. You know, the carbon we've got, we'll make a couple of these. Rearrange things a little bit here. I have a preference for where certain things end up being. That's just kind of like the OCD portion of me, I guess. We're not at a point where that becomes important for the starship, but that does happen too. All right, in just a few minutes, we will encounter a storm. There it is. And this is actually a good time to check and see if we've got a cave here. One of the options that you have with a storm is to get underground. There are advantages to this. One of them is that we do have an underground life form to find. Another is we can collect more oxygen and sodium. So while we're down here, I'm going to pretty much ignore these. It wants us to know about them. They are part of the storyline, but they're actually a reasonable way of collecting a little bit of money. But I'm not really too concerned about them at this time. Since we've got a refiner, one of the things you can do with marrow pulp is you can refine it in a refiner, and it will turn into sodium. So if you can't find one of these poison plants, puffers, that has sodium, and you need sodium, you can do that. If you've got access to a medium refiner, you can combine the marrow bulb with oxygen, and it will become, or with carbon, and it will become cobalt. If you combine it with condensed carbon, it will become ionized cobalt. All right, storm is cleared. So now all we need to do is wind our way back out. Now the storm is over. And that's pretty much where we came in. Do a real quick look around again while we're here. See if we see any red dots. I am not seeing any red dots. So we don't find the underground life form here. We can possibly find it elsewhere. It may not actually even be in a cave. It may be a life form that kind of burrows along the way. And up over our right shoulder there, we've got a couple of frigates coming through. Support, trade. I think that's support as well. It might be industry. Nope, that's support as well. Now is probably not the time to go into what each of the varieties of starships provide, but there is some variety. We have metal fingers over there. Ooh, hey, we've got a building up over here. How far away is that building? Oh, 300 view. We are 300, just over 300 view to that. We're about to pass the, we're come upon the graves, so we'll swing by here first. I asked a question that no one had asked. It was a simple. The Sentinels, what are the Sentinels? Do they come from? It's my life's work to find left logs, records across worlds. The fallen traveler's grave is marked by a niche, an epitaph of some ancient technology. Strapcliff. I obtained the glyph, and with it the ability to travel to unknown worlds. I leave the fallen traveler in peace. Now we do. We get a glyph. We also get a memory fragment. Memory fragments tend to have a launch auto charger for the starship. If that installed is along the way as well. Condensed carbon becomes useful all over the place. Scan this plant whenever you run into a planet. There will be one of those plants on pretty much every planet. One of the things I'm looking for is called an underground cache. And I got a transmission tower over there too. I haven't seen enough of it to know that it's there. Underground caches are a little different from underground technology. Underground technology, once you've collected it, becomes what they call salvage tech, or salvage data, and you turn that in for blueprints to build things. Maybe we don't get this one. Alright. So this is a Viking world, which some people will have recognized earlier. For accessing the archive, 6 of 7 logs are corrupted. So entry 4 of 9, 2 4 alpha follows. No one's making this recording in case you're leaving behind. Given the fabricators, it might be of some use. You're going to get a visor damage. You can't find ship. For supplies. The log finishes, the machine bursts to light, spitting out supplies. I have a hermetic seal I need to repair my structure. And yes, I added star to that. Look at that. Whoever it was that let me here, whoever left this message, perhaps they found themselves in the same situation as I do now. Well, sort of. I got a functioning multi-tool, a functioning scanner. All right. From this one, where we find it, you can collect a word. I'll learn the word by keying. From this one, you can collect a small amount of money. You're not going to get really rich on that, but it can be useful. All right, try again on the... There we go. Normally you need a another piece of equipment for that. Transmission tower, my friend. Doubly my friend, because it has a pair of shelters with it, which means we can pick up another hermetic seal. Get a hard save point here, and 10 nanites plus a some nav data. Get what's in here. Accessing archive, 67 corrupted. Yeah, we've been through this before. If you don't know, until you actually get back to your starship, any of these you find will do this same thing. So if there's another one inside the transmission tower structure, it may be where we get more. All right, another word. Terminal online. This time we learn the word interloper. No cache. I've never tried this. I don't think it'll work. No. Oh wait. Does work. So, fix that up. I'm going to run in here. Going to select location for a another starship. And I can say that with some confidence because I've done this often enough. Long ago, it seems, an automated distress call times. If I can crack the encryption path, I could potentially extract coordinates. 1, 2, 6, 24, 120. 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 3 is 6, 6 times 4 is 24, 4 times 5, or 24 times 5 is 120, 120 times 6 is 720, which happens to be the first at the top of the list. It's not always the top of the list, but it is in the first couple in many cases. All right. So it is often not that direction. It's going to be behind us. Now, I have seen directions back to our crash, or where our starship was located initially. It does happen. It's not often, and maybe they fixed that, but It can happen. However, I don't think it's going to be the case this time. I'm going to pop around here, take a look at a couple of the structures if I can. What we got here? That looks pretty much like just a marker. Not enough detail in the scan or in the visual to tell for sure. We have a drop pod here, but we need something critical for this drop pod. What you can do though is you can record the grid coordinates for where it is and come back to it. This is one of the places where a notebook can be handy. A notepad or a laptop computer where you can take notes. Okay, one of these will tell us where to find a structure that I am interested in finding. Okay, what have we got here? Looks like we've got a observatory. Not too worried about that, but I do want to grab that. Before we go any further at all, though, I'm going to relocate this. And I'm going to install this right there. What that does is it will recharge your Starship launch fuel. Anytime you are on the ground on a planet where fuel, or where you can walk around, it's considered a livable planet. There are a couple that it won't recharge on. They are usually called life incompatible planets. Alright, we're going to run around or take a look around in here. Interact if we can with somebody. I don't see anybody to interact with, but collecting these. We are not going to put terminal online. Learn a word. That should be raw. I'm not going to interact with this computer. It will give us directions to an ancient ruin on another planet in this system. Can be useful. All right, we are in the above and beyond portion of this run. But hey, I like having a little bit of fun doing this, so. What do we got here? Ah, abandoned building. You can pick up some nanites there, a couple different ways. Won't get into it. It's just beyond saying that that's really the big things that you get there. There are a couple other things that can be collected there, but the big problem is most people make the mistake of harvesting the humming eggs there, and that triggers the some horrors. They start running around and they will kill you. I have yet to see a level of armor that prevents them from killing you. So keep it in mind. Alright, we've got a different type of a tower. This is a holographic communications tower. It does not have a shelter near it, so we're going to bypass it. We got a shelter, but no landing rings, so we're going to bypass that. Hey, we got another one of these. And I will land here, but I have an ulterior motive. My ulterior motive amounts to collect words, collect money, and collect nanites. I'm also going to look around, see one, do we have any red dots walking around? Don't see any of those. We have a buried cache out there. So another one closer. That's another one that's closer. Try not to hit the ground too hard on the way down. The one is right there. Charge life support. That's what we made the life support gel for earlier. Alright, we've got a couple of these now. That gives me some pure ferrite and some platinum. Don't really need either of those at this point, but since we used up one of those life support gel, not be a bad idea to fix them up. There's some hydrogen anyway. And yes, there are ways to optimize that. Not going to worry about them at this point. Now, it might seem strange to some people to go into the transmission tower at this stage, but as I say, I have an ulterior motive. Mostly what I'm hoping to do is meet up with at least one Viking. Having carbon on hand is good if I do. And no Viking. At this point, don't bother to do a search for another starship, you only can have one active starship search going at a time, and it will direct you, or it will tell you to do that, but you will have used the... Oh, what do we got there? Oh, him coming up behind us. That's what we got. Them coming up behind us. One of the things to watch for is crashed freighters. At the very least, they have things that are worth selling. Sometimes they have stuff that's worth hanging on to, too. Okay, again, no shelter, so no stop. The only reason to stop at those at this time is if they have a shelter associated with them. You can collect the nanites and whatever is in the shelters. One of the things to do along the way is when you've got a fair distance, a fair amount of ground to cover, is kind of zigzag on that path and scan and see if you can see other resources. Another drop pod worth swinging by. You're never explicitly told it in the game, but when you learn how to make antimatter, you also get the recipe for making an antimatter containment vessel. And an antimatter containment vessel is one of the things you need at a drop pod for collecting a suit slot. They're not difficult to make, but you do need the blueprint. And of course you need the raw materials, but the materials are for that are oxygen and ferrite dust, which are fairly easy to come by, and we have a lot. But without the blueprint, it's just ferrite dust and oxygen that you've got. You don't have the other materials. Or you don't have the resulting product. They are available at some minor settlements, some trading posts, some planetary archives. Good, I was hoping to see one of these before we got too far along. This is a minor settlement. I'm thinking there might be a trading post around here. Maybe not. All right. So it is a C-class multi-tool. I'm not even going to compare it. It has more slots than what we've got, but Anyway, here, the white guy keeps open. You pick up some more. And that gets us some reputation, not enough. Alright. Talk to this guy. And he's going to want some carbon. Learn the word for is, learn the word for to. Talk to this guy. Purchase components. Nope, I actually, well, hold on, let's go back to that. I'm not actually going to buy components, but there's the antimatter housing, and you need 25,000 units for that. We have other things available. Why are we doing? Because very important. I'm going to purchase blueprints, though. I need this one specifically. And then I've got 195 left over, which is just about enough for that and that. And now we use that there. That gets one of these, and we've got the raw materials because the buried cache had one. I'm also going to install this. Got one of those because we got that earlier. Make a these. That's got that. And now I need two of these. And two of those are going to cost $168,000 units, and I don't have that much. How many units? All right. Milestone completed. Learn 5 words. All right, thermal protection. No, underwater protection. Just that there. Thermal online. Learn a word. Metal fingers, and yes, there is a building over there. Which, based upon all the flying aircraft around, I'm guessing is a trading post. Alright, it looks like that print failed. One moment while I cancel that print job. All right, let's go take a look at the trading post. There's the trading post. Yes, we could land. there are resources there that would be useful, but I'm not going to. I've got someplace else to go. I am kind of looking for another minor settlement and or transmission tower, though, because the hope is that we'll run into another one of the Viking and we'll get a upgraded multi-tool or different multi-tool. It'll have a lot of damage, mind you, but damaged multi-tools are fixable, repairable, or exchangeable. Especially if you've already got some units. All right. Let's take a quick look. Oh, and something else. Was seeing a bright spot on the screen, which usually tells me that there's a starship in that area. And there may have been, but it seems to be long gone. And this system doesn't seem to like to put shelters at holographic terminals. My experience is that it's almost 50-50 whether there's going to be a terminal or sheltered holographic terminal, but in this system, the ratio seems to be somewhat different. That was another one of those abandoned buildings. We can pick up 3 words here. Maybe 4. Rearrange things a little bit for my own references. All right. Knowledge stones. Learn the word for eye. That's 8. We're at 10 before we leave here. Maybe 11. All right. Learn the word for you. And learn the word for pathetic. And there's another milestone, 10 words. The Viking, look, currently at minutes, peak. I place my palm on the monolith, then stand back where it melts in response to my touch. Molten rock drips down the stone, exposing a hollow interior. Inside, I see riches that are beyond belief. Ancient technologies of cargo that would aid my journey. Suddenly, a voice of an ancient tribe shakes the ground I stand on. Stand back. The ancient warriors who once worshipped here bless my show of respect. The larva reshapes itself, forming an intricate plinth in front of me. As it cools, the plinth is laden with gifts. The vision fades and but the gifts remain. And I learned the word for atlas, the atlas word for atlas. Arguable whether that's a useful word to learn. All right, we very much want to collect that final life form if we can. But I'm perfectly happy collecting all kinds of nanites via landing at structures where they're available. Nanites are not really available there, although there are other things that are there that are available. And another abandoned building. And just a marker. Occasionally those markers will have a floating trade terminal next to them. At this stage, I don't think it gives you anything. I believe you have to have been in space and returned from space in order for the floating trade terminals to be useful to you. That was a manufacturing facility, and it's a good way to end up dead right now. And there we go. And we've got 55 nanites, so let's go head over to the shelter and see about picking up a couple more. Oh, I don't think I picked up my 10 at the previous minor settlement, but and there is our 7th life form. And yes, he was considered underground. All right, let's upload all of these. Each one gives us 5 nanites. And then for each life form we scanned in, if we got all 7 of them or all of them on the planet, we get another 250 nanites. Which takes care of getting the nanites we need. But we've continued to get nanites because, you know, we're going to need more nanites. Discovered all species on one planet, so we are a naturalist. There are titles like that for each of the, or for all of the systems, or all of the collected all of the, or scanned all of the creatures on up to the first 10 planets. All right. The ammo cans have. All right. So we got a B plasma light tool here as a geology can. That's neat. Let's do a compare. I only need 2 million units for that. 2,035,000. Well, okay, I can exchange for a little less. All right, let's talk to this guy. What have you got, dude? What? Oh, okay, whatever. Oh, sure. Here you go. And this is, well, honestly, not a lot of improvement, but could probably work with this. So I'm going to need some phosphorus, some uranium, and ammonia. Okay, let's compare it. I'll go ahead and take the too. You can have up to, I believe it's 5 or 6 multi-tools now. Alright, so I'm going to need 50 of this. Probably would have been faster to go the other direction. And I've got to watch out for uranium and ammonia as well. Alright. But we can now pick up all of the blueprints he's got. But not all the products he's got. Okay, toxic suppressor, barrel ionizer, shield lattice, and neural stimulate. Free up another creature, which if we hadn't already found a way to get another life pod, yeah, this is not going to be a useful trade item, but that's okay. At least it's not going to be a useful trade item right now. Now, I'm going to need some more of this. I've got some of that. Let's go get some more. Occasionally we get stuff like gold and platinum and the like from these things. Hey, 45, that's good. We need, I believe, 75. Yep, 75 of the ionized cobalt. Let's get some already, so let's get that run. Let's put down the refiner. And now I need 50. So we take 100 of this 445 that we got. Just take it down to 10, 20, 30, 100. Keep it some carbon. Now we've got 50. Into the exosuit, pick that up. My personal preference is to not completely fill up the resource. Or I should say not completely do the restore in many cases. So we got 17,000 units now. All right. We have a trader available, or running around. Just so you're aware, these frigates, you can see landing pads on them. Let's go take a look. So on traders here, the landing pads are in this ring area in the back, but they will not build up rings for you to land upon. And if you attempt to land on them anyway, you'll just get told it's too far away. And he flew away. Another of those. Whereas if you happen to come upon one of your own frigates, or more frequently, when you're on, or when you find them around your freighter, you can land on them, and they provide nice resources. And you occasionally get to do repairs. Again, one of the places that I do like to find as I'm cruising along like this, heading for that crashed starship, is crashed freighters. Even at this stage, where I can only pick up 3, maybe 4 of the contents of cargo holds, they're, I think, worth checking out. So, see if we got some ammonia. We do. Will I be able to afford 50 ammonia? Looks like I should be able to. How about uranium? I don't see uranium. Talk to this guy, we boost our reputation if we can it right. Oh, yes. Make sure, do I have enough pure ferrite? There we go. Starship shield. It's a C-class Starship shield, but hey, that's better than none. Although we do have a basic Starship shield already. So, in any case, let's go ahead and install it. Setting them up together works better. There is a set of practices for collecting or for building those or collecting them, or installing them. And basically the tenet is you install them by toxic protection. Tough part is I really need this as well. And the antimatter, which I could sometimes find. Chromatic metal we'll be able to work with in a bit. More units, good. Buried cache and distance. I think we'll hold off on the buried cache, but that building over there might be interesting. Well, maybe not. But as you can probably tell, I'm not really worried about it at this point. Hey there, welcome. Doing a walkthrough of a first save beyond the point where I was looking to be at this for the save, but hey, once I get this done, I've got a weekend mission to do. I haven't done it yet, and the Quicksilver is always welcome. And then I've got my survival save to put some time in on. All I'm really doing at this point is showing how I go about trying to make the most of a save start. As I'm playing. I have done situations in the past where I've shown that you can start with a brand new save and run right up through completing the weekend mission, all in a couple of hours. It's a bit of a push, but for some people, that's a challenge worth doing. But at times, so it's less of a challenge for some people because, yeah, you show that it could be done. It's got to be easy if that case. Mostly it's luck. And another of those. I leave those alone unless I find a sentinel pillar. Another drop pod. Still don't have the blueprint or the antimatter housing. And at 25,000 U, when I've got less than 30, less than 10 actually, yeah, it's a little bit much to ask for. For these two remaining damaged slots, I need a total of 50 uranium. And I can get that on many planets, but usually the only place where you can reliably find it is on a radioactive planet. But this is a good prospect. See what we got over here. Yeah, this is a better prospect. It'd be even better if I had a blueprint for a base and a medium refiner, but that's going to have to wait. And I probably won't do it in the save. What I will do, though, here is check to see if we've got any uranium. Nope. Ammonium dioxide, but no uranium. Alright. Well, in that case, I am going to leave the locals alone and head on out to continue on my quest for a crashed starship. Now, what's really odd is I'm not really looking for the crashed starship. If it's a nice starship, I'll take it, but I have a different ulterior motive in looking for a crashed starship. Another drop pod. They sure do want me to get suit slots. Maybe someday they'll just hand out a bunch of cash for antimatter housings and or blueprints for antimatter housings. My apologies for not streaming yesterday. I had a rather busy day. I had started a 3D print, and that ended up going fairly well. But the rule in the house is that if nobody's going to be home, all the 3D printers have to be turned off. None of them can be on. And considering that the 3D printer that's on my screen back here is what they call an FDM, fused deposition model 3D printer. It's one of the ones that really is a good idea for it to be turned off when there's nobody home. And it just got turned off because the print failed and so on. So, since I did not want to cancel the print job, just as I don't want to cancel, or didn't want to cancel a job that failed, and I did cancel it, I pretty much had to stay home. I can pretty much go across the street to check the grocery store or the Dollar Tree. It's not quite a grocery store, but it does have groceries. But heading over to places where I can get filament for printers or other materials is kind of out of the question, unless I want to go ahead and cancel the print job, which, as I say, pretty much I didn't want to. Okay, that's that guy. Thing we have down here is, nope, that's trade terminal. We're still too close to the trade terminal. Trading post. And we could pick up some nanites. And maybe find some other stuff with a scan of the area. Finding a lot of living slime here. Not arguing. More nanites. Oxygen over there. That's going to be useful. Keep it in mind. Learn a word. Get some cash. Learn the word for end. All right. I'll head over here for the oxygen. Stop in, see if we've got a local hanging out at the transmission tower. If we do not, I'm not going to try to get another. I will collect the stocks right there. And do we have any other? Nope. no minor or buried cache within easy range. But it's alright. They're not quite everywhere. Don't expect they ever will be. Looks like just a shelter. Manufacturing facility. Shelter. Well, the workers for the manufacturing facility have to live somewhere. We have the first of these with the shelters. If I did get it. All right. Really should be collecting these. And I do, once I've got a freighter and the remote, or the ability to remotely access my inventory there. But not at this time. Okay. That looks like it's marginally within range. Might be another one around. Well, now it's about the same distance away, but yeah, this is good. Power up. Yeah. We'll use it as a navigation point. Never scanned the sodium plants before, so at least not in this save. Again, that the oxygen and the deuterium plants all have value. I guess I figured that. They're underwater, huh? I once mentioned that No Man's Sky is a great game for those of us with some level of OCD to spend some of that energy on, or some of that process, whatever you want to call it, affliction. Because you can track so much stuff, like how much do I need, how many of this do I need for making that, where am I at with the volume that I need for it, how can I make more, get more, what can I do with what with the end result. All kinds of things like that. At the same time, for those of us that are easily distracted, it's not exactly tough on us either. All right, what have we got here? Gold. Little bit of gold. And then there's times like where we're at this point in the save, where it's kind of, how do I go about making more space? Because when I looked at, or when I'm looking at there, I don't have space for me to put anything else in. A moment. Apparently too deep. Oh well. So if there's something I don't have available here, I'm stuck. Nope, the nanites. Those we can almost always get. And there is some emphasis on almost in that. Because, yeah, almost. Excuse me. Alright. Let's move the gold over. And we're going to move this over as well. How are we doing? Oh, some of this already. Okay, well. Yeah, we're going to skip that one. I do have other things I want to do tonight, so... I will admit that I would not mind finding a Sentinel pillar. I'd rather find a freighter crashed. Alright. This multi-tool has a yeah, no ammo. Let's make some ammo. Hey, dude. I was not expecting to see you. Really, I was not. Didn't want to. See if we can outlast my lack of health at the moment. Okay, Sentinel's force has been deactivated. All right. Hey, we've got nanites available. The alert has obscured the information on the primary terminal. I can only make out a few words. I can work out what was being worked on here. I can restart the workflow and restore operations. So here's a tip. If it's in all caps, it's what they're working on. It only seems to happen on Viking worlds. An economy scanner. Hey. In all honesty, that is what I was looking for. Going to the starship for. But I should say going to the crash starship. We're still going to go to the crash starship. Maybe it's worth getting. but I think that might have triggered my ability to find a sentinel pillar. Sentinel pillars are kind of handy and kind of a bear at times. The kind of handy part is that at this stage in the game, the ability to, or if you can suppress the sentinels on the planet, you have that, or you can make way to find all of the trading posts, or all the manufacturing facilities and places where like the depots where resources are available, and you can take or collect or really boost your sentinels destroyed stats without having to be in a lot of combat. And I will admit that if I run across a sentinel pillar right now, it's one of the places I'll land, even though they don't have landing rings. Now, if you take the Hack a Sentinel mission, or Hack a Sentinel Pillar mission on the Nexus, or at the Nexus on the Space Anomaly, that changes things significantly. The major difference, wait a moment, I don't think this gives me any benefit. That is a trade terminal, but I think since I've not been out to space yet and come back in, yeah, I get to register and that's it. Another manufacturing facility. Once you have accomplished whatever milestone allows you to access the floating trade terminals, They actually aren't a bad place or a bad things to have around. I've set up bases at one in expeditions because very often they have recurrence of resources that are just handy to have. But the rules around trade terminals in expeditions, community expeditions, tend to be a little bit different. They tend to be specific to that expedition. One of the things that I've ended up with was a situation where you could buy wiring loom from a floating trade terminal. And that's not something that's generally available at floating trade terminals. Okay, we're under 2 minutes away, so unless we run into a crash freighter, a planetary archive, or possibly another minor settlement. Well, okay. Or one of those sentinel pillars. We should be landing in just a couple of minutes here. A little over a minute. Scanner does not mark everything that's around. Rating boost. So it'll be a little bit longer. Still looking for that uranium. There we go. Now, let's see if I can find something I can scan for what I need. Or wait, do I have some stuff I can sell for my suit, or for my starship. Gold and platinum, but we don't sell it to the trade terminal. We sell to this guy. Ally. 9. Not that much, huh? But I should enough to get 50. Sorry, I'm out of screen again, aren't I? Okay, now we talk to this guy. Maybe we congratulate him. Let's see. A red, jagged, and recent bite mark is wrapped around the entirety of the warrior's neck. Claw marks scan their chest, and their excess suit lights flash red. The wound oozes a strange, caustic slime. Look at the guy talking antelope in my head. Obviously, I can't lady busy. The life form barks tentatively at being satisfied by their narrow activity, their narrow victory. It's clear, however, the warrior's injuries are severe. They have trouble breathing. Could recharge their excess suit for 25 sodium. Sheer oxygen for 50 oxygen. No. There we go. Congratulations, dude. The warrior nods, ignoring the pain, too proud to ask for help, inhaling deeply. They revel in the suffering, glory of victory. Alright. We will not be visiting the shelters. Is a space trucker. So I earn some more money. Oh. And not every one of the freighters or frigates. Oops. Not what I was looking for. Oh well. Have their landing pads in the same place. So for example, this guy, the landing pad is not at the back or upper level. They are on the side. This guy has them shielded, apparently. Oh. Not critical for what I was looking to do. Now, if I remember what we get in the beacon for a starship when we've already got the economy scanner is the hazmat gloves for content. Okay, looks like we got a decent sized shuttle. It's the beacon. There it is. It's a lot closer to the shuttle than I normally find it. The cockpit is adorned with the trophies of dead creatures, perched at every available surface. At the controls is a tendril to its body and face lacered. The dank smell of blood assails my nostrils as I fight back the nausea. The black box reveals the pilot is attacked by something whilst in flight. But it's unclear what. I could strengthen the warning beacon in the cockpit, but it would leave me vulnerable to attack. Send out a warning signal. An unknown benefactor sends a reward for my actions. Now construct a temple once powered with stranded craft. Ah, cadmium drop. That's handy. All right, what do we got? This is an A35 plus 25. Lots of damage, but we've got an available undamaged improved facilities slot. We don't have to fix up the launch thrusters. It's not a bad looking starship. Other than the fact that we don't have the chromatic metal needed for some of this. All right. Going to need a hermetic seal and metal plating. Seal, plating. Your ferrite. Nitrate. Sodium. All right. Seeing dioxide at several locations, but I'm not going to do any more repairs here at this time on this one. As a matter of fact, I am not going to do any repairs. I am not going to do much more. I'm going to go ahead and harvest the site for resources. Up on board. Top. Fix up my multi-tool here. As much as I can. Well, I can do that or finish that one up, I suppose. Finishing that up requires putting down the refiner again, giving it more yes, carbon. This will be good. See if we have any acceptably close buried tech or buried caches. 66U, that works. And we got another of the another of these, which would scan, get more nanites for. All right, let's put this here. I normally don't keep these over here, but we can at this point. All right, that needs sodium nitrate, which I think it's already got some of. That needs more ammonia, silver and copper. Not been finding silver or copper lately, so. Well, actually, I have been finding copper. I have not been finding it in a resource I can use yet. That's actually the result of our next step here, which we're not going to do. So there's ammonia. There's ammonia again. 344 U away. Good cache, ammonia, magnetized ferrite. There's a copper deposit. Can't do anything with that cargo to raw. All right. The blue flowers allow you to fly for a little bit, give you more jetpack power or field resources. Hop back onto the radiant pillar, and let's close this one out. Yes, I'm going to click to vote there. To vote select. Now let's go back into play game. And that took us an hour and 52 minutes. We didn't get our base built, but we have the blueprints for the teleportation device for our starship, the ability to scan, or the economy scanner, and the cadmium drive. All of which are great things, just usually it takes a lot more to get to them. I'm going to throw this away. Yep, this is going to be permanently lost. All right, let's go. I'm going to go to my relaxed save here. This one. Pretty sure this is the one I need. 100 and some odd hours on it. Alright. We have fleet missions in. This is the breaker I was thinking of. $300,000 units, 300,000, 200,050, 200,000 convergence cubes. Units. Yes, I've got over 3 billion units in this save. And I could easily max it out. Salvage frigate mod. Good. More tech. Condensate. Convergence cube. Okay. Units returns. Just gonna run through it all, let it all kind of add up. I prefer to see more of those salvage frigate modules, but I'm not expecting a lot of them. Vortex cubes, yeah. Another 3.5 million units. Okay, copper, cadmium, copper. Okay. Solve GSI store documentation. Nice. Cadmium, selenium. Units, ionic decay, units. Great mission, so units is not expected. I got 2 of those on. There's a second cave. Okay. Alright. Let's see what variety of mystery. Fine folks are really being got set up with. Let's see. Yeah. Kind of distorted. And thank you, I'm out. It is currently 11:35 my time. I believe we've got another almost 6.5, maybe 8.5 hours on this mission available. Play it in. But maybe it's just another hour for me, or half an hour. That's not the Nexus weekend mission. Sometimes it helps if I fly out and fly back in again, so we'll see. I see the icon for the Nexus, or for the weekend mission up there, which suggests that it should be there. Note, if you're playing multiplayer, one of the things you should see if you do what I just did is an entirely different crowd of people. All right, it's up there. I don't believe I've played it already. Okay. Tame wild creatures is actually not a bad way to get a walker brain. You have to have a bunch of these. 107 is a little overkill for it, but In any case, I guess we don't do that. We'll try it again next Friday. All right. On that note, I don't think I'm going to do my survival save tonight. It's due, but I will see about doing that tomorrow night. In any case, thank you everybody. I do hope you had a good night. My view is saved, notwithstanding. So, I wish you well. We'll see if I can get in tonight, Friday night or Monday night. If you're around, check on me. If you're not, it's fine too. If you're checking out or working with somebody else at the time or watching them, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to get some stuff done here, and we'll see how things go.